Thank you, Milt, and all those of you who came before. This has been a wonderful beginning. You know, Dr. Holmes says there is nothing supernatural anywhere on any plane. He says that which today appears to be supernatural, when it is fully understood, becomes spontaneously natural. Those are his words. And how true that is. We mystify a lot of things that if we open our minds and hearts to, becomes really natural. So today our topic is your point of consciousness. How do we arrive at a new, more powerful spiritual self-awareness? There's something they're talking about today a lot in the air. It's called a new normal. So the new normal calls for a new design for living, don't you think? The new normal calls for a new design for living. Dr. Holmes in The Science of Mind says something about the importance of developing a practice of regular meditation is essential to a life of peace, power, and plenty. Essential is meditation, regular meditation. So I'm persuaded that we, incarnations, individuations of God, the one great supreme intelligence, the one spirit, the only true unconditional love, the allness, I'm convinced that we are seeking an undeniable knowingness of our own oneness with that spirit, of our divinity in the midst of our humanity. I'm convinced about that because people are thirsty, they're anxious, there is such a broad need across humanity, especially now. There is so much fear around. So here's a quote from Dr. Holmes that for me says it all. Listen carefully to this, intentionally to this. And here it goes. I begin. Quote, there is a place in the mentality in the heights of its greatest realization where it throws itself with complete abandonment into the very center of the universe. There is a point in the supreme moment of realization where the individual merges with the universe, but not to the loss of his individuality. He says, where a sense of the oneness of all life so enters his being that there is no sense of otherness. It is here that the mentality performs seeming miracles because there is nothing to hinder the whole from coming through. He says we can only do this by providing the mental equivalence of life and the fact that as vast, as immense, as limitless as it is, the whole of life is brought to the point of our own consciousness. End of reading. Page 358. Do you believe it? I challenge you to believe it. Because when you do, if you do, and when you do, you'll have an experience that's completely out of this world. You know, that's a famous saying about out of this world. Really, literally, it's out of this world. Oneness of spirit, of our divinity in the midst of humanity. I am persuaded, as I said, we as incarnations, individuations of the Great One, the Supreme Intelligence, the Spirit, the true unconditional love, the allness, we are seeking an undeniable knowingness of our oneness, our spirit, our divinity in the midst of our humanity. Now here's a quote from Holmes again that for me says it all. And we have read that to you. How do you get to that supreme moment of realization? How do you get there? How do you get to the point where it merges? The point of the merge. That's the place to reach. That's the place to be. Where as vast, as immense, as limitless as it is, it's all brought to the point of our own consciousness. That's called an aha moment. Do you know what an aha moment is? An aha moment is an echo trailing longingly, a complete abandonment. It's an echo trailing longingly, a freshly minted moment of understanding. That's an aha. An echo trailing longingly, a freshly minted moment of understanding. It's really brand new to you and you get it. You see, there's a place in the mentality in the heights of its greatest realization, Holmes says, where it throws itself with complete abandonment into the very center of the universe. If you've ever had that experience, if you've ever wandered into the sky with your mind, wandered into the eternal endlessness of beingness, if you've ever felt like you were the center of the universe and that there was no difference between you and it, there's no otherness, that's what we're talking about. You get there through a regular meditation practice. If you have a regular meditation practice, you really can reach that place. The point is to get there and stay there as long as you possibly can without the loss of your humanity. In other words, you can function normally as a human being without separating yourself. Because everything, if we are spiritual beings, think about this, we are always doing what a spiritual being does, even when we make mistakes. So a spiritual being can't do anything less than what is spiritual. So too many times we have caused separation in our own thinking, in our own sense of judgment. Good, bad, different, separation, all of those things come from a failure to recognize that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. That is when life on a larger scale happens, when you get to that place, when you feel like you are the center of the universe. All comes from the one and all returns to the one. Are you still the royal child that you are when you were born? Think about that. Are you still that person, that pure essence of spirit that Carolyn was talking about in the guided meditation? Are you still that place? Or do you feel like you've drifted away? You feel like you've created a new person, a different person? We'll talk a little bit about that. Spiritually, we must arrive at a new destination if you want to feel that difference. You have to arrive at a new destination. So, Holmes says that we comprehend the infinite only to the degree that it expresses itself through us, becoming to us that which we believe it to be. So we daily practice in our meditation the realization of life. Life with a capital L. So in order to arrive at a new destination, what does it require? It requires one to, first of all, give up where they presently are, or else you never arrive in a new place. So that means you have to forget, leave, move away from your current position. It may need slight adjustments, but the slight adjustments could mean a change of the whole thing altogether. It's like adding salt to the flavor of something. Once you put it in there, it doesn't stay in one place. It gives the salt, the extra salted flavor throughout the whole meal. So you can't separate it once you put it in there. It is designed to be fully immersive. If you close your eyes, I want you to see what happens. Try this. Close your eyes and listen to what I'm going to be saying and see if something happens for you. I'm giving a quote here now. Infinite, indwelling spirit within me. Almighty Spirit, God within me. Real substance within me. That which is truth within me. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one cometh unto the Father but by me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Great Spirit. Open your eyes. Think about what came to you. I'm not going to ask you to share that right now because I want to complete the idea. Right here, through our own nature, is the gateway to the path which leads to illumination. Right where we are is the gateway in our nature, because we have our nature with us wherever we go. But in that same nature is the gateway and the path which leads to illumination, to life, to inspiration, to intuitive perception. Do you know that intuition is the highest faculty in humans? Intuition, the highest faculty. I predict that soon the pure conscious life and energy will emerge from the dimness and misunderstanding of ourselves, which we have invited. You could disinvite that. You could say, this thing that I invited in me that has me all messed up right now, or feeling confused, or feeling separate, or feeling unhappy, or feeling fearful, or feeling like I'm not completely whole, not being able to recognize my oneness with the Great One. You see, we are made in the image and likeness of God, so we are one of God. We're not God, but we're one of the One. Each of us is one of the One. God doesn't discriminate. God made every human being in its likeness, in its wholeness, in its image. Think about yourself as that. See what happens for you. The highest faculty, as I said, in humanity is intuition. Soon the pure conscious life and energy will emerge from the dimness, as I said, and misunderstanding of ourselves that we invited. Meditation is the key that helps to unlock our infinite potential and infinite possibilities. It unlocks it. But it means regular meditation, not just a few minutes today and forgetting about it for a week or a few days and then trying to get back from the beginning each time. Meditation is on a regular basis. It's the evolution of your awareness of who you really are. The evolution, when something evolves, it means that it never stops becoming more. So the longer we meditate, the more regularly we meditate, the more of ourselves we discover, the more of the truth of our own being that we discover. And the less of the thing that we invented before we started meditation, that disappears eventually. It's the key that helps us to unlock our infinite potential and infinite possibilities by slowly exposing every limitation that our old self created. Now, in order to arrive at a new destination, as I said before, one has to move away from one's present location mentally. Mentally. It's a mental game here. Physically, you may experience little change. Mentally is where you live. Physically is what takes you to where you live. You know, it's like taking a bus. Your body is simply a vehicle through which you travel in space. We're on a space planet, by the way. So you're a space being. You don't need a spacesuit because you were designed specifically to live on this space planet just the way you are, just the way you were made. In order to arrive at the new destination, one has to move away from one's present location mentally and give up the old ways and the old habits. You can't change your lifestyle until you change your thought style. It's true. Everything begins with a thought. That's why it's called the science of mind, the science of thinking. Welcome to the science of mind. The science of mind is about the science of thinking. When we think, something responds to our thought. If we understand that, if we know how this thing works, and we know that it has infinite power, that it doesn't reject, it doesn't question, it simply obeys. That's the law that Neld was reading about, the law. That's an immutable law. It's infinite. It is a law of God, the law of the Great Spirit, the law of the creator and sustainer of this universe. That law is available to us, and it's always present. It never takes time off. It doesn't go to sleep. It doesn't have to be awakened in the morning. No, it is always alive and waiting to respond. Everything we repeat constantly about ourselves becomes our mantra, which create consolidated vitality, resilience, and resistance to change. Should I say that again? Everything we repeat consistently becomes our mantra, which creates consolidated vitality, resilience, and resistance to change. Now, that's whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, whether it's right or wrong. Anything that we say, repeat consistently, that law begins to take as special orders. And it will fulfill whatever we repeatedly say to and about ourselves. I could not stress more clearly that this is about our consciousness. Are you really, truly conscious of the being that you really are? Because if you are, you have entered the most wonderful and incredible journey. If you are not on a wonderful and incredible journey right now, speak to yourself honestly. You don't have to answer the question to me. If you are not on that incredible journey right now, the journey of knowing your infinite life as oneness with the great creator, your life as infinite possibility, your life as unconditional love, your life as perfect peace beyond human understanding, on and on and on. You've arrived. You'll get there. Through meditation, we tap into the regenerative capacity of the body and mind to heal itself. Through meditation. Dr. Holmes writes all of this stuff. What people in the world are faced with today, you know, the coronavirus, the fear, the anxiety, the separation, all of that, among a large portion of the world population today. I'm not talking just about the United States. This thing is universal in terms of its outreach to planet Earth. All the countries are touched, from Africa to North America to way up in Canada to way up in Alaska. This thing is everywhere, and people are living in fear. What if you changed your fear to faith based on your discovery and understanding of yourself? You know, our faith comes by hearing. In the Bible, it says that faith cometh by hearing. Hearing means understanding. You know, your mother said, your parents ever said to you, "Do you hear me?" They're asking, do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Faith cometh by hearing. And when we understand who we really are, our faith increases more and more. And when we get to that place of conviction, all good things are possible. And we don't have to live in fear, because we will be acting out of the divine wisdom that the faith has allowed us to feel that increase from interior, from inside. That's how faith translates into right action. Because when we have faith deeply enough, it begins to work its way through our action, through our conversation, through our habits, through our way of being. So do not condemn yourself to present circumstances. So many people are fearful, and the deeper the fear, the more likely they have condemned themselves to have the experience. Because what you fear shall come upon you. That's a principle of life. What you fear shall come upon you. When you understand who you are, you walk without faith, not without thought. Walk with faith, with good judgment, with understanding and right thinking. Right action follows. So don't condemn yourself to the present circumstances. Change is always taking place, Holmes says. Change is always taking place within the changeless. Mindfulness meditation is the best way to sustain this connection. You can find that from reading through the Bhagavad Gita. If you get the Bhagavad Gita, you could probably get it online if you don't have it in your library. Page 507 will give you a lot of good information about mindful meditation, mindfulness. All come from the one, all returns to the one. And I know that as our community grows, we need to be practicing that more and more constant spiritual training. We need that. We need to keep that going. The change and constant updating allows us to be a more powerful presence in our community. So you know what? I want to read the affirmation again to you so that you could see the continuation, the continuity of what we're talking about. And following the affirmation, I want you to listen to a song that I've invited Susan to sing to us, for us. The affirmation is, today I know the divine presence as the one universal wholeness is omnipresent and in and through its creation. That universal wholeness is present right here, right now, for all humanity. It is the life of all life, the being of all beings, the well-being of all life, and the vitality of all life. In that life, there is perfect harmony and complete wholeness. That's what I'm talking about. I know these divine qualities are being expressed in and through each human body and in each human's life throughout the world. This is the change that can happen. What you repeat to yourself becomes part of your DNA. I feel its presence active in my physical body and in my mind. I know that every organ, every action, and every function is vitalized with and by that perfect wholeness. There is perfect circulation, perfect assimilation, and perfect elimination. There is no inaction, no confusion, no congestion. What if we repeated that to ourselves over and over? Remember what I said about repeating things about yourself. I am one with that infinite rhythm of life which flows through me in love, in harmony, and in peace. I know there is only one life. That life is God. That life is spirit. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. And so it is. Susan?
So it is. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am.
Remember who you are. God bless you. Namaste.
Namaste.
So now we open up our usual time. Before we open it up to questions, I want to remind you about this. My 10 take time. Take time to muse. Take time to reflect. Take time to be silent. Take time to be in awe. Take time to contemplate. Take time to meditate. Take time to be alone. Take time to be quiet. Take time to hear the silence. Did you hear that? And take time to know yourself. Those are the 10 take times that I believe can help you to get to that place of constant meditation. Because in meditation, if you follow those 10 take times, you will be able to find that place I'm talking about, because it's right in the middle of you. God bless.